open on Jackie and Matt center stage. Behind them are photographs of Ira and George and some of their works.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever staged reading of A Brief History, Ira and George Gershwin. Please be aware that the relationship between Ira and George portrayed in this reading is a reflection of Jackie and Matt's relationship.
At this moment, my inner stage manager wants to remind you to turn off all electronics that are going to make noise during this performance. But we're in class, so they should be on silent or off anyway.
And the sass master and me just wants to get the show on the road, so I hope you all enjoy.
Matt and Jackie turn around and put on their name tags. Matt is playing George, and Jackie is playing Ira.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ira Gershwin, born Israel Gershwin on December 6, 1896.
And my name is George Gershwin, born Jacob Gershwin on September 26, 1898.
Our parents' names are Morris Gershwin and Rose Grustian, and our two younger siblings' names are Francis and Arthur.
Our father's last name has been misspelled upon coming to America, originally being Gershowitz, then becoming Gershwin, and eventually becoming Gershwin, which I adopted the name.
I did not. Not immediately, anyway. I went by Gershwin at first.
Well, according to the title, we are known as the Gershwins, so all debate on our last name should just be irrelevant.
Agreed. Let's just move on to our individual stories.
Well, whose do we tell first?
Mine, obviously. I was a writer.
Excuse me, but because you're a writer shouldn't dictate you going first. I was a prodigy.
I'm older.
And... Fine, go.
So, I was a writer. I got my first book for Christmas in 1906. It was titled A Study in Scarlet by Conan Doyle's. I loved that book so much. I read it as many times as I can remember. In 1913, I was listed as one of 4 editors of Townsend Harris Hall Academic Herald. I would sometimes publish my drawings, but I focused mainly on being co-editor with Yip Harburg on the Much Ado column. I eventually produced my own one-page weekly circulation titled The Leaf. I hand-printed each copy on laundry shirt cardboard. My life has been a fulfillment of my desire to find solitude for reading and writing.
Fascinating.
Matt, your inner sass is showing. You're supposed to be playing George Gershwin right now.
Okay, but let's just think for a second. Ira was a writer. He never had that revelatory moment that inspired him that George had. I just feel like George's story is more fun.
Explains the casting.
Can we just get back to the show?
Well, I pretty much told Ira's backstory, so you go.
Yes, okay. So, to make a long story shorter than it typically would be, our parents bought Ira an upright piano. But I instantly fell in love with it and played music on it the second it was ready to be played. I played it more than Ira did. I began trading with ladies in the neighborhood, very quickly working my way up to studying under my first great influence, Charles Hambitzer. He was a flamboyant Hungarian man who helped fuel my ambition to become a concert pianist. The first piece that inspired me was Dvorak's Humoresque, which it was played by Max Rosen at a school assembly, and it opened the world of music to me. Hambitzer died earlier than anyone could have expected, and with his early death came my ambition to become a popular composer instead of a concert pianist.
Why don't you tell them about your first song, the ballad, Since I Found You? Maybe even your second, Ragging the Chimeri, which showed you merging ragtime and classical music. That seems like a pretty important contribution to music.
Well, why don't you tell them about your publication? Tramp Jokes, writes Gershwin, are bum comedy in C.L. Edison's Mail column.
Because it's off topic. Let's get back on track. What else do these folks need to know before the fun begins?
Well, I think we should warn them about my style.
I already told them that you merged ragtime and classical like 3 lines ago.
That's not how you warn people, though. You should have said, he was trained in classical music, but now he wants to write popular music, so he combined classical and ragtime, and he's such a genius.
Okay, now that we've warned them, what show should we discuss?
Strike Up the Band? Funny Face? Girl Crazy? Of the Icing?
What? Wait, what?
Of the Icing.
You mean Of the Icing? I can't.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if George and Ira were just like obsessed with cake or something. I mean, they have the show. Let them eat cake.
Let's talk about Porgy and Bess.
Sounds good to me. I mean, it was my most ambitious composition.
It stinks it was a box office failure, though. It was an amazing folk opera.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Sometimes I can be nice.
Now what should we talk about?
Pardon my English.
You're excused.
No, I meant the show.
Oh, no.
Tell me more.
All I said was, oh no.
Okay?
Calm the sass, Jack.
I'm naming musicals. I anymore. Let's call it off.
Cue the music for Let's Call the Whole Thing Off.
Yeah, let's call the whole thing off.
You say either, and I say either. You say neither, and I say neither. Either, either, neither, neither. Let's call the whole thing off.
You like potato and I like potato. You say tomato and I like tomato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off.
But oh, if we call the whole thing off, then we must part.
And oh, if we ever part, then that might break my heart. Just kidding. If you like pajamas and I like pajamas, I'll wear pajamas and give up pajamas.
For we know we need each other, so we better call the calling off. Let's call the whole thing off.
Thank you.
I got rhythm, I got music, I got my gal who can ask for anything more.
Jackie, that's all well and good, but it's over. Like, the presentation is done.
Sass.
Oh. Okay.
She was having fun singing that song, and so she had more voice, didn't she?
Yeah.
You realize that, Jackie?